Today we are going to conclude the 18th chapter. Though it was chapter-wise summary, we took slightly in detail as many of us had not attended the earlier part. And from next Sunday, today, the flyer will be sent by Radhaji. We are grateful to Radhaji. If you have noticed, every Sunday and Monday, all of us must thank, because she, without fail, exactly on same time, sends the flyer for so many years now. So thank you, Radhaji. So we will send the flyer to you today and then you can forward it. Also, those who want to invite other people, please tell them that from next Sunday we are going to do one session, one chapter. So let us prepare ourselves for this session by sitting straight, head, neck, backbone straight. This position, the energy flow is maximum, ideally suited for any spiritual practice. Let us withdraw our mind from all that has happened in the past. Experience is not so important. Learning is very important. As Jnaneshwar Maharaj says, Anubhava neva nivrutti param. Also, we must not keep practice for this is we must not keep repeating the stories of our past life. We must be only focusing on the learning. So that is one renunciation we have to do. Let us withdraw our mind from all future anxieties, worries. What will happen is we do not know, because that is God's job, not our job. Paradharma bhayavaya. God has taken lot of jobs. He has given only one job to us. That we will discuss in this chapter summary. Let us practice to keep our mind in the present moment with clarity, conviction, love. Let us focus on our breath. Breath is always in the present moment. Let us take one slow, deep breath. When we take a deep breath, our chest expands and we feel confident. Mind comes in the present moment. Always fresh, always detached. Without God's grace and Guru Parampara's blessings, all these projects are not possible. That way, anything is not possible. We have done, there are many of us here, I know, who have been attending right from beginning. We have done 12 years, verse by verse, Bhagavad Gita. Then we did chapter-wise summary in detail. Third project is one session, one chapter, and the fourth project is one session, all chapters. So we will get entire glance, and it cannot just happen without God's grace and Guru Parampara's blessing. So let us invoke deeply from our heart that we are able to attend this. Many people don't acknowledge the grace because they think it is routine, but those who are unable to do, they know so many challenges come in attending sessions, learning from outside, busyness from within, laziness. Om. Om.
सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः गजाननं भूतगणातिसेवितं कवित्तजम्बूफलसारभक्षितम् उमासुतं शोकविनाशकारणं नमामि विघ्नेश्वरपादपङ्कजं सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणे विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः स्थावरं जङ्गमं व्याप्तं यत्किञ्चित् सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः चिन्मयं व्यापि यत्सर्वं त्रैलोक्यं सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं हरि ओम्.
Hari Om. Thank you, Lata Rajshekar ji. So we must all thank Lata Rajshekar ji. Precise as we discussed with Rajshekar ji, the moment 3 ohms are completed, he says like military precision it goes. And so many years it has been happening that way. No network problem, that is God's grace. So suppose we start counting the grace, then it is so many of them. Sometimes we forget because sometimes we see that this knowledge comes to us easily. I don't know what is your network. My network is very large because I take so many corporate programs. I've only heard of Bhagavad Geeta many times. Yesterday itself I took one program. They only heard of Bhagavad Geeta book, not even taken in hand. So sometimes when knowledge is received easily, then we don't value it. And here Arjun's delusion has gone, ignorance has gone. He's become confident and convinced with this knowledge. And then he said, Karishe vachanam tava. I will do whatever you have said in the Bhagavad Gita. So that is a real transformation, as we mentioned last time, that one question I must ask, that why am I studying all these kind of books, text, and why am I seeking this knowledge? Only for one reason, for inner transformation. If inner transformation is happening, then this knowledge is fructified. So today we are going to conclude. Instead of mentioning in the last, uh, all this is happening, I'm able to do all these things because you're all listening. So you also say thank you in the last. So I say thank you to all for joining, because that gives more motivation and interest to make in detail, study in detail, so that not even one point is missed. So thank you to all for regularly joining, because I know many of you have been listening for now. I think we started this class in Saraswati Vidyalaya with Bhaja Govindam and then Bhagavad Gita. And one Bhagavad Gita continued only. So thank you so much. So we are doing chapter-wise summary, and we are concluding today by the concluding chapter, Moksha Sanyasa Yoga. Renunciation, liberation through renunciation. Where the chapter starts with Arjun's question that Bhagwan, Tyaga and Sannyasa both means renunciation technically, but what is the difference between both? And can you tell me now, because now I know you are going to conclude, and for before me there is a, just imagine we are just listening Bhagavad Gita just like that on Sunday morning, but for Arjun, he is looking at the RV, and now no, he knows that this discourse is going to get concluded and he has to fight. He has to go into the war. And so he knows that this will be the concluding part of the Bhagavad Gita, because Bhagavan has already indicated that I have already given you all this knowledge. I have already given you Guhya Tamam, Guhya Param, everything I have given. So then the second question is, Bhagavan, now I know I have to get into the situation. Give me practical tips to remember throughout my life. So these are the two questions he asks. So Bhagavan answers that Tyaga means whatever situation comes before you, do not ask why me, why this situation has come now in my life. Deal with that situation, people, objects cheerfully, and Tyaga means just do your duty and do not have anxiety. Renounce anxiety, insistence, resistance for the result or whatever will be the consequence of that action. This you practice. Once you master this of not so much concerned about what will be the consequence, what will be the result, what will be the fruit, why me and what I have to do, and then why this situation has come, then you are entitled for sannyas, which also means renunciation, but renunciation of like, dislikes and kamya karma. So when we meet these monks, they do not have any like, dislikes, and we find that why they are so peaceful, because there is no anxiety, insistence, resistance for whatever is going to happen. And then that will lead to the final renunciation. Bhagavan says, Sarva Dharman, you do tyaga of everything. Bhagavan, I created my family, job, business, then no, Sarva Dharman Parityaja. You renounce everything, including doership, and then I will give you, you will attain total fulfillment of life. Then you will not need anything. Atyantik dukkha nivrutti and Paramananda Prapti. So whatever you have gained, whatever you have known, including all this text, whatever you have achieved, Sarva Dharman Parityaja. No, it is very difficult, no? Whole life we create bungalow, and then Guruji says one card you are taking it out and everything gone. So not very easy. to let go. So he says, practice this tyaga, then it will be easy for you to do sannyasa. And then you will attain the highest fulfillment of human birth. Why you have taken human birth? Okay, Bhagavan understood the theory, but give me some practical tips now. So number one, he says, do your duty cheerfully by renouncing like dislikes, insistence on result, doership, that is sattvic tyaga. And Bhagavan gave 7 dashboards in day-to-day life to practice. Because one question comes, Bhagavan, again and again you are saying, do your duty, do your duty. I do not understand my duty only. And many of us who are thinking that I know my duty as husband, wife, grandmother, grandchildren, everything, I have to again go back because Arjun was Brahmagyani in the first chapter. What happened is he forgot what is his duty. So it is not very easy to understand what is my duty in that situation because we normally lose objectivity in life. I am very subjective with my bias and days and that. So he gave 7 dials. Bhagavan gave 7 dials to practice, dashboards to practice. What are the 7 dials? First he told you, see what is the kind of knowledge you have. No, I am very knowledgeable. No, you check whether it is sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. Sattvic knowledge is very peaceful and creating happiness. Rajasic knowledge is always agitated and quickly I'll get agitated and short-tempered and my peace will be going disturbed. And tamasic knowledge is always procrastination, confused and inertia, not interested in anything. Then you check what kind of action you are doing, what kind of attitude you have in the doership, then the perseverance, and then you check what is your intelligence, buddhi, and then you also check what kind of happiness you seek in life, whether it is tamasic only pleasures, sensory driven, or you seek some charity given, or you seek sattvic ananda. And also check what is your temperament, then you will understand what is your duty. So how to check the temperament? You check whether you are basically having a thinker's temperament or administrator's temperament or a resource management temperament or a service orientation temperament. That is Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Now once you get this, then you will know what is your Swadharma and my duty will be based on Swadharma. Okay, I understood my duty, I am doing my job. Then what will happen? Then you will be always cheerful and peaceful, and with that you will attain the highest. So once I attain the highest, then what? Then what? Nothing. There is no then what. But no. Then what? You tell me what to do. Then what? Okay, I have achieved the highest and attained the highest. Then what? Then you share this knowledge. And spread this knowledge. Then what will happen? Then nothing is going to happen, but you will be dearest to me. I love this person the most. So now we have to listen carefully. Bhakti, love is called as the 5th Veda. Many people get enlightened, many people get moksha. But love plus jnana, bhakti and jnana comes to only rare people. Where lot of Bhagwan's grace come, then bhakti yukta moksha happens. Because in bhakti there is ras. In bhakti everything is God. In jnana everything is I, Aham Brahmasmi. Bhagwan, all this is very nice, but right now I am not fulfilled, I am not attained the highest. Then you study this Bhagavad Gita again and again, Sanjay says. Again and again. How to study? Who will be benefiting by studying this Bhagavad Gita? A person who has self-control, a person who has vivek and vairagya, a person who is interested really in liberation, not part-time job and some spiritual, intellectual curiosity on Sunday mornings, Bhagavan says, no. This person will get some benefit, but actual benefit a person will get when a person will have vairagya towards anatma and interest really in seeking, knowing, attaining God, Bhagavad Prapti or Jnana Prapti. So Bhagavan gave that verse that this will be beneficial to these people. And then what? Then there is a final verse coming today. So anybody asks you what we will gain after reading Bhagavad Gita, what will happen after knowing Bhagavad Gita or following the principles and values of Bhagavad Gita, you must by heart the last verse of Bhagavad Gita. And that Sanjay is telling that this is the final result of entire knowledge. Where two things come together, four things are accomplished. So the formula is 2 will lead to 4. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara, Tatra Shri Vijayor Bhuti, Dhruvar Nitir Matir Mama. So we will today going to conclude with this verse, which is one of the, not all verses are beautiful, but my favorite verse is this because on this I take lot of corporate workshops only on this verse because people first ask that what am I going to get? What will happen? Why unnecessary you are getting into all this spirituality and Bhagavad Gita and holy things? No, you see the final 700 words, what is the result given by Lord Krishna. So before we start today, as we mentioned, that today is a concluding verse and this can only happen with God's grace and Guru Parampara's blessing. So we invoke and invite Gurudev for concluding for us and giving the hints of this on this last verse of Bhagavad Gita. So I think Gurudev would be very happy that, we have completed this and studying this regularly for last 12, 13 years. Yes. So this is a verse, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara, Tatra Shri Vijayor Bhuti, Dhruvar Nitir Matir Mama. So let us invite Gurudev to give us highlights and then we will analyze and conclude this session.
The concluding verse of the Bhagavad Gita, Yatra Yogeshwara. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna. Yatra, there where Yogeshwara Krishna, there where these higher values represented by Krishna. Yatra Partha, there where man is. Partha represents you and I, the individual members in the community. Dhanurdhara, not that go slow, work. Sluggish, slumberous, inertia. Even if you get a job, work is somehow. But why did you work like that? What else is I am sorry. Until at last the whole country is sorry. Because everybody is sorry. Think of it. that alertness, vigilance, ready with the tool of life, ready to act. Not merely saying that, Swamiji, I am ready to act, but tomorrow, next month. Is it? Procrastination. Yatra partho dhanurtara, tatra there. There where there is Krishna representing the higher values of life, and Arjuna representing the dynamic readiness to act in the world outside. Tatra there. Shri, prosperity. Vijaya, victory. Bhuti, progress. Dhruva niti, niti, policy. Dhruva niti, firm, steady, progressive, creative policy. Matir mama, this is my opinion. Meaning, I am not asking you to accept it. But this is my opinion. Mere readiness, physical level, with all the modern equipments is not sufficient to create prosperity and joy in the human community. Has been, you are all lived through it. The last war clearly shows, is it not? Hitler had shown it. That armed to the teeth, a whole nation of determined youngsters, ready to make enormous sacrifices. They could only ultimately break down the moral core of the world and bring down humanity to the present state of valueless existence, confused and confounded. Think. Pure philosophy. Subtle philosophy. And everybody going to the Himalayas, sitting in utter meditation. That tragedy of the Hindus in India would happen historically. Everybody sitting back, only saying this is all prarabdha. Alexander has come, never mind, prarabdha. Muslims are come and ruling over the country, never mind. That is all happens. Bhagavan will protect you. Govinda, Krishna, Krishna, and in the name of the Krishna take a little more prasadam. That is all. That's purely spiritual. You cannot live in this world. Purely materialistic and secular, there is devastation and disaster. Spiritual values and higher principles in you, and we are all ready to work for the benefit of the country and the society. Cultured people, healthy in their values and ideas, when they work, that nation or community shall have. See that second line? Shri, prosperity. Vijaya, victory. Bhuti, progress. Dhruva niti, steady and righteous policy. Think of this 6,000 years before Christ. Today, none of them is with us. Think, 36 years after independence, we have not got Shri. Prosperity is not there. Vijaya. Victory over what? Election victory. Bhuti, progress. Fifth 5-year plan. Finished. Progress, oh progress. No electricity. Right? Completely the entire industry is at a standstill in Madras for the last how many? 20 days, I think, 3 weeks. And it's not going to end until the rain comes, let us stop it. Do you know the quality, the amount of waste of national wealth? 1 year strike in Bombay. Old, dilapidated, last century's missionary was somehow jogging along for the textiles of India. All those machines have corroded and none of them can open it. Who is going to suffer? Not the owners. Even if they sell it in scraps, they don't mind, because that land value has come up, that it is sufficient. It is not the nation that is going to suffer, because nation always looks 20 years ahead. 20 years ahead, we will have new machinery, therefore production will increase. Who suffers? The poor people who struck work. Think how situations create. And we, man-made sorrows, not God-made. Sri Vijaya Bhuti. So, what I meant was, whether you are labor or labor union leader, or you are the managerial class, or supervisory class, or the top people, all of them must have values. But the cheap, prostituting politicians of today, no values. They think that that is not necessary. Some other get the election. Then what? Then prosperity to me, victory to me, progress to my family, and a beautiful policy for my own aggrandizement. That is not the anxiety of Krishna or the anxiety of the Hindu rishis. What happens to our community? This last verse of the Bhagavad Gita raises the status of the whole Gita, that it has got a message, political and economic, for the social survival, not of the Hindus, but of the entire mankind. This is equally applicable in American politics as well as in Russian politics or Chinese politics. It is a beautiful lesson for the leaders of mankind in all climes, all colors and systems.
So beautiful conclusion from Gurudev, and who gave 400 Bhagavad Gita yajnas, and this was in 1990, where he predicted that that lower Parel land of textiles will be sold, and that is what exactly happened. And interestingly, government called McKinsey and some foreign consultants to tell what is going to be done. He had already told what is to be done. This will be sold and the land will have value. All textiles have gone today. You can see all buildings coming up there. In 1990, he mentioned this. So now we will analyze Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara. Many commentators have given meanings to this. It is very interesting for us to listen and practice, that both are required. What are both? Literal meaning is Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna means Lord of Yoga. And Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara means Arjun with bow and arrow, fully armed, ready to fight. All our goddesses are with Dhanushya Ban and all Shastra Astra. Many foreigners actually get quite amazed that our gods need the Shastras. It is a symbolic representation that we must be ready for action. Second meaning, spiritual wisdom. Wherever there is spiritual wisdom and wherever there is selfless, efficient action, both must come together. So suppose I am having the spiritual wisdom, I can see the right hand side whether I am following. Highest intelligence and perfect action in day-to-day life, transaction. Not that I say everything is Maya, Jagan Mithya, Brahma Satya, as Gurudev mentioned, everything is predetermined. No, I practice everything needs perfection, transaction, behavior, words, my attitude, clarity on goal of life. what is the goal of life, what is the goal of marriage, what is the goal of job, what is the goal of business, and things must be aligned. Conviction on one's path, that I am walking this path for this, I am doing job for this, marriage for this, business for this, and this will be the path I want to follow, and this will lead to this final goal. Alignment in goal of life and goals in life. Very important to note, many people think that no, why this knowledge is required. Those people who do not have clarity on goal of life, they get so depressed, sad, dejected with not accomplishment of some goals in life, with some failures. That is a trade-off. Because my vision is not reached the highest. Holistic vision, wherever there is values and cultures and holistic vision, fearlessness in action. Both must come together. Only vision is there, but action is not there. Lord's grace and self-effort, both are required. Actionlessness of the Lord and dynamic action of Arjun. Jnana of Lord Krishna and bhakti and karma of Arjun. Freedom, our Lord had complete freedom. Where there is freedom in every action, I must have freedom to do, not compulsion, not boredom, and with discipline. So if you see, there are, sometimes it might look contradictory, but that is what? Freedom in thinking and discipline in action. Spirit and matter both must come together. That is a representation of Lord Krishna and Arjun. Idea and aligned execution in corporate world. Smartness of Lord Krishna and goodness of Arjun. People think smartness must be, Lord Krishna was extremely smart with values. People think that spiritual people must be buddhu and then they must be tolerant. No, there must be smartness. Inspiration of Lord Krishna and perspiration of Arjun. And finally, which is very famous, Narayan and Nara when they come together. Nara means not only man, women also. Then there will be 4 accomplishments. So this is the detailed meaning of Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara. When these two come together, there are 4 things accomplished. But before that, there is a very interesting management principle where vision minus action is on pure imagination. Lot of thinking, lot of ideas, this should do, I should do, Chinmay Mission should do this, our country should do this, vision is there, but no action. What am I doing? Nothing. It is imagination. Action minus vision is equal to confusion. I am doing lot of action, and some people think Karma Yoga means doing lot of action. Karma Yoga means being busy from morning to evening. There was one monk who was sitting. One person went and asked him, "What are you doing?" He said, "I am doing nothing." So again, after some time, he did same thing. He saw the monk was sitting in meditation. "What are you doing?" "I am doing nothing." "But why are you doing so like this?" He told, "It is better being busy and doing nothing." Some people think because they are busy, they are doing something. No. It is better than being busy and doing nothing. Especially people think they are very, very busy, very, very busy. But what am I doing? Nothing actually. What is the outcome? Tatra, vision plus action is equal to transformation. That happened with presence of coach, Lord Krishna, and the participant, that is Arjun. So what are the 4 things? Gurudev has already mentioned. Let us revise it. Shri means wealth, prosperity, beauty and goodness. Our country was the highest in GDP before Britishers came. Spirituality gone, wealth gone. Spiritual wealth gone, material wealth gone. So now we see that spirituality is coming up. We can see so many people, so many channels. People are flocking to this spirituality, and the wealth also is growing. India is growing economically. Today, the way we are defending American one-sided assault, we can see how India is rising, and India is because the spirituality also is growing. Vijaya, Vijaya means not only outer victory but inner victory. Success, achievement plus health, not success achievement at the cost of health. Today, when we see corporate people, they are achieving so many things, but at the cost of mental health and physical health. And then they are not peaceful, so much of stress. So, success must not be at the cost of health and stress. There must be overall gain. There must be gain for everybody. The Hastinapur war was going to create overall gain for entire world that time. Entire world was praja in different places. Right means, and the humility comes with that everything God does. But the right action comes. That is the definition of Vijaya. Because many people, when you ask what is your definition of success? Oh, success means I set something and I get. That is success. And whatever I set, if I don't get, that is failure. That is a very poor definition of success and failure. When can we say that my life is successful and my life is happy? When these things happen. When there is inner and outer success, when there is inner growth and outer achievement, the health remains better, the peace of mind remains and increases. I grow spiritually and I use the right means and I become more and more humble. That is the definition of success, Vijaya. Bhuti, progress, growth, expansion. So when we get married, there is expansion of family. When we grow, expansion happens at the wealth level, knowledge level, family level, kingdom level, business level. And finally, the highest expansion is Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. My nature is existence, consciousness, infinite bliss, infinite. I am not satisfied with little happiness. Dhruvaniti, firm, steady, sound rules. No one likes unfairness in a family, unfairness in a society, unfairness in a corporate. Actually, many people hate only these things, that there should be fairness. Man and woman is equal. Let us be fair to both of them. While giving promotion, let us be fair and go on merit. There should be fairness. So, Dhruvar Niti happens where Krishna and Arjun comes together. Why Krishna told Arjun to fight and win the war? Because Arjun's kingdom was not happy. The Praja was not happy. There was unfairness. The values had gone down. So, Yada Yadai Dharmasya means what Bhagavan does is that values are uplifted. Values with conviction, no compromise, national and international interest. So today we can see Narendra Modi saying is that we are a nation and our nation is sovereign and we will take our own decision which are in our national interest. We are not going to rule on another country, but we are going to take decisions which will be good for our country. Excellent governance. This is what he told Arjun, and why to fight. That once you win the war in Hastinapur, let this war be leading to you becoming a king, means Pandavas. There will be noble policy, morality, ethics, law, decorum, and this had gone down. Unity life. So as Gurudev mentioned, this 700th verse, last concluding verse of the Bhagavad Gita, is one of the best verses which give us the goal or result or what will be the conclusion. Suppose I have this knowledge and do this action with the bow and arrow in the hand, with enthusiasm and clarity of duty. Matir Mama, this is my conviction. So there we complete this chapter. Now let us see the symbolism of the chariot, and the last portion is remaining that we will complete. What is the symbolism of the chariot? Entire Bhagavad Gita is mentioned here. Lord the charioteer, highest wisdom and intellect. We can see the picture here. That Lord is sitting as a charioteer. Arjun is behind him sitting in the chariot, and on that there is Hanumanji. That is a flag Kapi Dhwaja. On that Dhwaja, there was Hanuman's photo, Hanuman's image. So Lord is the charioteer, and which denotes highest wisdom and intellect. What it means? Our body, mind, intellect, senses must be guided by spiritual vision. What it means? That all my decisions must be based on the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita with understanding and conviction. Whenever I am confused, I must say what Bhagavad Gita is telling. I will do that because the Lord is holding the horses and the reins. Very important to note here. So we should give the reins of our mind and our senses to the knowledge what Bhagavan has given. Arjun means Jiva Bhava, I notion, ego. Nara, human being. Reins denotes our mind. Our mind, we must say, no, I will do whatever I feel. I will take my decisions. I will see. Then there will not be happiness and success. And there will be not a policy. Suppose you are a leader or a family leader or a corporate leader or a society leader. There will not be nobility in the policy. There will not be fairness because I take decisions on my own. I get up today morning and put 50% tariff. It is not noble. The mind is not in control. Horses, 5 senses outward bound, are controlled by the Lord. Lord means spiritual wisdom. So the senses and the mind must be controlled by the spiritual knowledge. And that's the reason I have to read this again and again, understand, get convinced so that the mind and senses are controlled. Chariot is the representation of our body. In that chariot, Arjuna is sitting. And Hanumanji in 1.2, this Kapi Dhwaja comes in chapter 120. Kapi Dhwaja, if you see chapter number 1, 20th verse, that is description that there is Hanumanji. And we know that story when we go to Mahabharat story after chapter wise summary, we are going to take up Mahabharat story also. That time Hanumanji had promised that I will be there in the war, but I will not fight. But I will be there, and Hanumanji saved him many times with this arrow by moving the Ratha. Otherwise, his chariot would have got destroyed by so many Mahatmas were there, great warriors. So when Hanumanji is sitting on the chariot, then victory has to be there. We must do our duty selflessly, fearlessly. That is a representation of Hanumanji with objectivity in the mind. What is the result? The result is 4. Shri, prosperity, victory in whatever we do, success, noble policies, and progress in individual life and community life, national, international level. So what are the messages of entire Bhagavad Gita before we conclude? In one line, popular one, first word of Gita is dharma. Dharma kshetre kurukshetre. So dharma means duty, essence. Last word of Bhagavad Gita is mama. Matir mama. So what is the message? Suppose you take the first word and the last word. By doing my duty, I will realize my true nature. I don't have to go to Himalaya. Just accept the situation. Just deal with the situation and do your duty by understanding and recognizing given in Bhagavad Gita, and there will be a highest accomplishment. Another message of Gita, Kshetra Kshetra Dharmam Kuru. Wherever we are in any field, any situation, in any family, in whatever job, as a student, teacher, brahmachari, grihastha, businessman, job, follow the dharma. Ask one question, what is your goal and what is your role? And in that, be righteous, and then you will achieve the highest. Permanent unbroken happiness and success, these 4 will be the result. Ramakrishna Paramahansa's message, he was asked once, what is there in Bhagavad Gita? He told, you chant Gita, 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 Gita fast. So Gita, 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 Gita. So what is heard is tyagi, tyagi, tyagi. So that is one word message of Bhagavad Gita. Do tyaga of what is disturbing you. Tyage na shanti, tyage na eke amrutatva. So I am just holding on to those things which are disturbing me, which are disturbing my peace of mind, health, success, happiness. So do tyaga. Adi Shankaracharya's message in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita kinchadadita ganga jala lava kanika pita. What will happen? One drop, if I understand Gita properly and practice, sakrudapi yena murari samarcha. Yama will not come. Kriyate tasya yamenana charcha. In the diary of Yama will not write your name. No. Don't go to this place. He is attending Bhagavad Gita class every Sunday, properly taking notes and, reading and chanting and then spreading this knowledge. No, Yama will not come. So we must. So what it means is that we will attain immortality. Yama will not even look at us, no daring, because Bhagavan is sitting there. No, inko sab chhod do. Puja Gurudev's message on Bhagavad Gita is everywhere he will write. If you go to him with a Bhagavad Gita book message, he will write, read some portion of Gita every day. Sometimes he will write one verse, sometimes two verses, so that we must follow. Every day I must pick up the book, and he was the person who brought Bhagavad Gita from the puja room to living room. So every day I must chant one or two verses and read the meaning and understand it again and again. Today we are concluding, but our journey starts every day. What did Sanjay said about Bhagavad Gita? One line message. Some Srutita, I must remember, act on it. Again remember Bhagavad Gita. Don't forget. And last verse, Bhagavad Gita message by Lord Krishna himself. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tva sarva papebhya moksha isha mima shucha. Let go all anxieties, worries, confusion. Keep smiling while doing your duty. And the last and the first message is that you do not become sad even for a moment. Sadness ko, I must not allow sadness to even come near me. किलोमीटर से उसको भगा देना चाहिए. Sadness is the greatest enemy of our mind. Anger is still better. Sadness is very, very destructive. Sadness, depression, suicide. So greatest enemy of our mind is sadness. And let us conclude. Om Tat Sat Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastri Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Moksha Sanyasa Yoga Nama. So this is the last portion of the Bhagavad Gita where every chapter is concluded. What it means? Om Tat Sat means highest designation. Always remember that is given in the last. Upanishadsu, Bhagavad Gita is essence of Upanishad. So those who read Bhagavad Gita and then to come to Upanishad, then it becomes very easy for them to understand Upanishads. Science of Brahman and Yoga Shastra means practical scientific way to experience. Path also is given, destination also is given. Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade, dialogue between divine and human. It's not monologue, it's not commandments. It's not that whatever I do, you do. I tell you do. Even Sanjay said, this is my opinion. If you want, you consider it. Think over it. Moksha Sanyasa Yoga Nama means two meanings. Yoga of liberation through renunciation. Or yoga of renouncing moksha also. I am not even seeking moksha. I am just focusing on my duty. I even don't want that moksha also. न लगे मुक्ति संपदा संत संग देई सदा. Tukaram Maharaj says, I don't want even moksha. I just want Santa Sangha, and there is joy in this. So this 18th chapter called Moksha Sanyasa Yoga is completed here. So we have to chant the first verse. So I would request, as today Lata Rajshekar both are there. So let us chant the first verse and conclude this chapter.
धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेतायुयुत्सवः मामका पाण्डवाश्चैव किमकुर्वत सञ्जय
And then Sarvadharman Parityajya.
सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज अहं त्वा सर्वपापेभ्यो मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः हरि ओम्.
Thank you very much. So from next Sunday, we are going to do one chapter, one session, and we are going to see how we can see the entire chapter in one session. The flyer will be sent to Radhaji, Neetaji today, and they will start sending it. You also talk to people and spread this message whenever this flyer comes. Please at least invite few people for this, because they can get the entire glimpse of Bhagavad Gita in 18 sessions. One session, one chapter. So there will be 18 sessions on it. Thank you very much for listening. And let us again sit for 1 minute, invoke God's grace, Guru Parampara's blessings. With their grace and blessings only all these projects are completed. And let us offer this back to them itself. तेरा तुझको अर्पण कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रिय बुद्ध्यात्मनामा प्रकृति स्वभाव करोमि यज्ञं सकलं परस्मै नारायणाय समर्पयामि. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hari Om. Hari Om, Saji. It's a short journey.